Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, January 20th. Um, a few things, basically things that have just come up in the last week. So if you're like, hey, she's talking about me, yeah, I probably am. But I feel like some of the conversations I've had with some of you would be beneficial to other people as well. So I'm just trying to respond to the things that are going on right now. So don't take it personally. So first of all, I don't think y'all are watching the videos. So I'm going to do a big push to make sure that it is at least simple enough for you guys. The big thing is that this information you need to know to be able to do your job properly. And I can tell that we're not watching the videos because there's a few things that have been brought up that haven't changed. So I will try to make it easier on you and put links on the front computers. Again, I don't know how that works when we log in and log out. So it may be like if I put it under my name, it may not show up when you log in your name. So I do recommend, and maybe I can make a video about how to put a shortcut on your computer for you so that you can have that shortcut. My expectation is at a very, very, very minimum, you guys are checking the YouTube weekly and watching any that have, a date since the last time you watched. At this point, we'll say at the end of this week, giving everybody an opportunity to have a shift and watch the videos, you could potentially be written up for items that have been brought up in the videos that you are not adhering to. A big one, I'm going to touch on it briefly because my last video was about it. Uniforms, guys, it's time. It's been brought up by Todd. It just doesn't look right. Everybody looks different. That is completely not the point of uniforms. If you have concerns, if you have questions, feel free to come talk to me. But the uniform is the uniform, and I know that everybody knows it because we've talked about it before. It's in the handbook, so on. Basically, we're not supposed to be adding our own touch to the uniforms, and they are supposed to look business appropriate, which means we probably need to check out what kind of pants we're wearing. I'm seeing, athletic wear. We don't wear athletic wear to work, guys. Okay? So if you're concerned, come talk to me. Otherwise, I'll give it like a week or so, but I need to see uniforms. Next one is rate codes. This has been brought up recently. And actually, I think I did this in my last video as well. I'll just throw it out there because the more you hear it, the more it sticks in your brain. If it is a third-party reservation, those are your Expedias, your Hotels.coms, Travelocity, Priceline, hotel beds, Get a Room, those sort of things. Those are the third parties, basically the websites. If it is a third party and it ends in the letter G for guest, that means that the guest pays on their own. Any other letter is a prepaid. The second clue is in the bottom right of the reservation. It says print rate. If print rate is checked, the guest pays. If print rate is not checked, then that means that the guest is not supposed to know what that rate is because they paid something different. Basically, for the sake of educational purposes, they pay the commissions up front. So we get the rate after Expedia or whoever's commissions. Again, if you have questions, come talk to me. One thing I've noticed lately is that we're not really digging deep on people's requests and their traces, and that we're also kind of slacking on Platinum Inspire upgrades. So right now, of all times, we have time. I mean, we have more time than we've ever had. So I do 100% expect you guys to read through every single trace and every single comment on your arrivals, whether you are A shift or B shift, because B shift may catch some mistakes from the morning. And that's part of our purpose in having different shifts and things like that. So everybody's going to make a mistake. Sometimes it isn't about pointing out who makes mistakes. The point is that if you're the B shifter, you're checking a guy in who requested first floor, and you have an opportunity to make that happen for him. You also have an opportunity to be the person that avoids him complaining at you or being angry with you. So we really all need to be looking at that. I have a little bit more time on my hands right now, so I've been going through arrivals also, also because it kind of made it aware that I was made aware that there were some issues with things like that. So definitely, absolutely 100% A shift traces and requests should be one of the very first things you do when you get in the morning. And we should be granting those. There's very little times that we can't upgrade, Aspire, or a Platinum member. I expect that to be done. We need all of our guests to be as happy as we can possibly make them because we need our guests bad. We want them to come back, so we don't want to upset the few people who are traveling. And it should be pretty easy for us to do these days. And if you don't have those rooms clean yet, but you see that they are vacant, dirty, or even due out, work with housekeeping, make it happen. That's really what we're supposed to be doing right now, is making things happen, making them as best as we possibly can for guests. So moving on. Enrollments, I'll touch really briefly. I mean, considering what's been going on, our hotel as a whole has been doing fantastic. I will tell you, it kind of comes down to two people, and I'm sure you know who you are, and I'm sure others know who you are. I would like to throw a challenge out, just a minor challenge, but I will be taking note to who is doing it and who isn't. I would like to see every staff member get at least one enrollment each week. So that's 4 enrollments a month, easy peasy. Keep in mind, if you're getting an email on those, you end up with about 2,000 extra reward club points at the end of the month, which is awesome for you. You also get the $1 per enrollment. So even though, that might only be $4, okay, you're getting a Starbucks and 2,000 points for doing one little thing a week. And trust me, it's a lot easier than you think it is. So just challenge yourself. If you do it for a month and you're like, this isn't worth it, okay, fine, at least you tried. But if you don't get any enrollments at all, you're not trying. Next is, this just came up and it crossed over a few different people, so I figured I'd bring it up. It's an easy one. We received a call at the front desk about an alarm going off in a room. We weren't sure what kind of alarm. We weren't sure how long it's been going off, none of that. Things like this, my expectation or my recommendation of how to handle that is, another guest says, hey, there's an alarm going off in a room. I would ask them how long it's been going off, and if it goes on and off, that one is going to tell you how big of an issue it is. Two, if it's like a smoke detector or, maybe like the alarm clock or a guest telephone, something like that. And then also obviously try to figure out what room it's coming from or where it's coming from. So in this situation, they told us the room that it was coming from. They were probably pretty certain it was that room. If the alarm had just gone off and a guest calls, I would say, hey, can you give me a call in maybe like 10 minutes if it's still going off, and I'll come up and try to take care of it. So if we know that it's something that's continuing or the guest is really upset, you need to go up to that room. If it's an occupied room, we need to knock on that door. We can try calling them, but if we don't reach them, we really should be walking up, figuring out what the situation is, and then trying to contact that guest and get it stopped. If you can't get the guest, they don't answer the door, they don't answer the telephone, it's probably not a terrible idea to give me a call. My concerns in situations like this is, one, if the guest isn't in the room and that alarm is going to go off all day, it's going to annoy everybody else and it's not going to get shut off. So I may make the decision for us to enter the room. Two, obviously guest safety. If an alarm is going off in a room and nobody's responding to it, there could be an issue with the guest that's in that room, and we really need to take any sort of safety precautions to make sure that's not happening. So that is one little situation that comes up. Feel free to share with me these sort of little situations that you run into that you're not sure what to do. I am happy to put videos out of different things, different solutions for the things that we're experiencing. We do have time on our hands, so if we can get to the point where we're really good at our game and understand our job and know what to do, by the time we get busy again, hopefully by summer, everybody should be a lot more confident, and it should be a lot easier for us. As of right now, if we were to get busy like we used to be, most of us would probably be a little scared because we've been so used to it being slow. It is definitely a different game. For those of you who've been around a while, it's going to change. Finally, we are very, very hopeful that in the next week to 2 weeks, February 1st was my goal, but we're working on it, so we're going to ease into it, that we will be serving our hot breakfast again. As of right now, we're going to test having a table in front of the hot area, having the breakfast host stand behind that table and serve those items, because those items are open items. They're not individually wrapped, and having them plate those for the guest. We are going to start it on our busiest days, so probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, maybe Friday mornings, depending on if the Thursdays stay busy or not. And we're going to test it that way. One of the big reasons that I'm telling you guys this is that I do expect the morning shift to be out in the lobby area and the dining room area assisting with cleaning tables. The challenge is that breakfast bar host, one, they're coming off of just being really slow. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging for them. They are going to have to be cooking the items and trying to keep those pretty fresh so that, there's no risk of somebody sneezing on them and stuff like that. So they're going to be cooking a little bit more. And they're going to be stuck in that, in the breakfast buffet area. So they may not have an opportunity to see what's happening, up front as much. So I would really, really like to see, and in fact, it is going to be required that A shift kind of do a roundabout and wipe those tables down when they see guests leave. It is probably super helpful too if you would help check the coffees in that coffee station, making sure it's stocked and whatnot, for the breakfast bar host. And if you've got a minute and you see that the coffee's running low and you have an opportunity to make that coffee for them, please help. I know, because I see it, I can't see what's happening in breakfast as much, but I see what goes on at the front desk, at least up until 4 o'clock or whatever. And I see that there is definitely time for us to help. So let's look out for our breakfast hosts, especially on those days where they're running breakfast, running the hot items. Feel free to talk it up to our guests too, like, hey, we're really excited our breakfast is coming back soon, half the week or something like that. And especially if you start seeing our regulars again, the Opal Foods guys, I'm having a brain fart. The guys that we see frequently from those companies that stay with us often, definitely want to let them know, hey, pretty soon we're going to have more options in breakfast. It's going to get better. Why not? So that is it for this video. Please make sure you are checking all the videos. If you haven't watched videos in a while, I don't expect you to do this at home. I'm not asking for anything extra. I know you have time on your hands when you're here. And I expect you to be checking the videos so that you're staying in the loop and you're staying in communication. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.